Happy Friday.
Hello.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Let me see if I can get Shannon. I'm trying to
get me all set up on the iPad here.
There you go. Oh, look at there we are. Hey, I got crazy hair tonight.
It's okay, you're looking mighty fine tonight there, Mr. Beaudin.
I don't know. We just got our house completely painted.
It's very bright, super bright.
Wow, it's really bright.
But it's a good bright.
We had a lot of complaints about people. They're saying, "What's wrong with the color of your?" Because it's not an in color anymore. What was it? What was the color before?
It's just like a burgundy, a pinky burgundy. Now we just have to change some of the blinds in the house, and I see we're pretty much done.
With the exception of the doors, which were pretty new, and the what is it? The trim, and the closets, which were really in good shape. The entire inside of the house was done. Boy, that was.
And we got a retaining wall now.
We got a retaining wall done. That was a big job.
Busy.
Changing all the light fixtures, and then trying to do some work. And we've mentioned this last week and the week before. When you move into a place, there's a part of I think everyone that goes, okay, yeah, I'm gonna look at that wall. Oh, look at this like squirrel thing all over again, because you've got to get used to being in your house. And it's hard to work when you're not accustomed to being in this particular space, especially after being, how many years were we in the last place? 16 years?
Yeah, about 16.
That's the longest I've ever lived in any place I've ever in my entire life. So, and here we are. I think slowly settling in. I think so. Yeah. I hope I enabled. I did. Yeah, I did enable. I'm pretty sure I did. I think I did. I hope I did. We'll find out. One time I came on here and I did enable chat. If anybody's watching, we've got a few people watching. Can you just say, yeah, just go check or something. Just say something to make sure that I enabled chat. Because if I didn't, that wouldn't be good. I don't know how to
Well, you have chat publicly on.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
We should be good then. Okay, that's good.
All this technology.
I know. I mean, last week we got off the air. We were thinking. Isn't that amazing? We were talking to people in Ireland, in England, Australia, and in Spain. All hours of the day or night for some people. Just going. They were just checking in, saying, "Hey, love. What's the latest interviews?" As most of you heard, Graham Edge died, passed away of the Moody Blues, and I just talked to his cohort in the Moody Blues, John Lodge, 2 days before. And I asked him, I said, well, you still have contact if you saw the clip. It's on here. I think it's the last clip before the Christopher clip. And I said, have you talked to the guys, Justin and Graham? He said, yeah, not as much Justin, because Justin lives on another part of the world. And he had said that Graham, you just talked to him, and Graham has a guest appearance on his new live album, John Lodge's new live album. So, and there's always that judgment call you have to make when you put that up. You're going, well, that just happened. Should you put it up? But the consensus around here was all, and even some of the people we work with is, oh no, of course, you got to put it up. It's topical, and people want to hear him talking about Graham. Sad thing though, losing somebody so big, an influential drummer, who played on all the stuff that the Moody Blues ever did. He was the last remaining member, because let's remember, Denny Lane was the original lead singer of the Moody Blues. The Go Now stage, a very short stage. There she is.
Hi, Maria.
Hi.
Thanks for saying hi. We just wanted to make sure we're actually on the feed properly here. So
yeah, appreciate
good to
that.
go. Thank you.
But Denny played on that first stint with the Moody Blues, and then they brought in John Lodge and Justin Hamer. But Graham Edge was with them back then, so it was just kind of a shock, I think, this week with everything. Hi, there you go.
Hi, Kim.
Kim, I think I hope you just said that, because last week we had a delay on some people. Remember, there were some people saying, "Hey, you just mentioned me now," and I'm going, "We just saw it now."
Hi, Barry.
Hi, Barry. How you doing, man?
Welcome.
So here we are in our newly painted house, but we're exhausted this week,
And now we get to put up Christmas decorations.
Wow. What?
Pretty quick. In the next week, I'd say, if I get a little bit more energy, I'll...
The station I work for in the West Coast in Vancouver, we just flipped to Christmas music at 4 p.m. Now that's not up for debate. that's not my company. I work for them. I've worked for them since 1990, back when they were Chum, then CTV, now Bell Media. And it's a huge rating success for us every single year to go Christmas. And we get so much accolades for doing it. You'll always get people who say it's too early, but I flipped a station in Calgary to Christmas music 2 years in a row. And what I tell a lot of people say, okay, it's too early for you, but with every passing day it becomes a better idea because you're getting closer to Christmas with every passing day. So if you're too early for some people, and it's usually now the day of, because you want to get on there before your competitors do. But tonight I went on there and I recorded my show for Vancouver, which will air in a few hours. And it was just, I just felt so good about playing it. I went, because I don't hear the music, I hear the last 10 seconds or the first 10 seconds to extra or intro something. And it just felt really nice. It was a really cool feeling. Last year when we were doing Friday Night Live, around Christmas, we noticed that people were going off and doing their thing. And not that we were disappointed, we were kept going, oh yeah, well they're shopping and, is that your naughty librarian or?
No, just
It's kind of a naughty.
tried to kind of,
It's all in my
coincide
head,
with
right?
black.
It's all in my head, right?
Hi Kim, nice to have you here with us. And I agree, Maria, yes, do the decorations now because probably won't feel like it later.
Yes.
We're just still trying to put up regular pictures and stuff in the house, so we're just kind of trying to get some semblance.
That whole wall over there, which is the same color as what you see behind Shannon, I'm putting the autographed albums that you saw when I was doing videos downstairs in the Calgary home. And just the thought of putting them up, I just keep going, oh, I have to get, it's because it's all math, right? And then some of the frames for the autographed albums, they're not all the same. So some of them are lit like this behind the album, some of them are a little higher, a little lower, and then you've got to, it's all math. You've got to measure it all. It's just a kooky thing.
Thanks, Maria. She says I look like a school teacher today.
She does look like a school teacher. I was showing the painters, they were asking Shannon about her old life of selling high-level homes in Calgary, and I showed them a picture of Shannon from that age, last year, and she's sitting behind her desk, she's got a nice dress and heels on, and they just said, wow, you really were,
Busy. That's what I was. I was very busy. Super busy.
Yeah.
Hi, Toots. Hello, John and Shannon.
And you're outside of Moncton, you said, right? Didn't you say you were outside of, I thought, you're not.
Is this Toots?
Yeah, he's from Chatham. Yeah. And we haven't been able to, by the way, I don't know where any of you guys live, but we haven't been able to really leave where we're from. I want to go visit my mom in Miramichi, and I can't because they're in, what do you call it?
Circuit breaker lockdown.
That's a weird noise. What was that?
That was your little heat dish over there in the corner.
Oh, my little Costco heat dish. Shannon that never gets cold, and I'm always cold. So she's always going, you're cold, I'm so hot. And to which I say, yes, you are.
Oh yeah, Toots is in Salisbury.
Salisbury, right?
Hey Spacey, good evening. Hey, hi.
Hi.
Nice to see some familiar names for sure. Hope everybody's doing well.
Yes, staying safe. My son Shannon was getting her hair done tonight. My son went and he touched something. He touched the doorknob because we were not in the salon with her. She went in by herself. We were waiting across the street. So he went and touched the door of the salon and then came back and he said, oh, I just touched my mouth. And because he hadn't sanitized, right? And I had to remind him, I said, since COVID started, I can't tell you how many times I made that mistake. And it's going to happen. And then he sanitizes. Once I remember in the beginning of COVID, I sanitized my mouth after touching it, and I went, it's probably too late at that point.
That's extra squeaky clean.
That tasted not
If
good.
anything that COVID has taught us is really people wash your hands.
Yeah.
Like I think just for hygiene, like just inject. I mean, you're washing way more, but it really has made you super aware, right?
Yeah, and even with the people passing away in the last little while, even the actors, because we cover actors on Nail Sheet. I do that. That doesn't even make any money, that channel, but I do that because it's just a change of pace, and I like to pay tribute to the actors that I grew up with. But just going on there's always these people going around. Oh yeah, you got the prick. You got the that's what killed you because you got a shot. And I'm going, oh come on, we're so beyond that, please.
Jonathan says, you look like a chill couple. Thanks, Jonathan. We think
Thank
we
you.
are.
I think we're chill.
Keith says, howdy guys, I'm living the wonderful Rick Emmett interview. You seem to have a great rapport with Rick. Thanks so much for highlighting one of the best guitar singers in my humble opinion.
Thanks, Keith. I've interviewed him quite a few times because I first got to know him when he was doing jazz, and I was doing jazz radio at the time. And so back then I'd interviewed him. I told him, I said, was it 5 times, Rick? And the first time we recently connected again, I says, I think it's more than that. So I interviewed him, excuse me. It's always a bad time of the night for me. Shannon keeps saying, don't yawn on the live thing. I was going, I know, can't help, you gotta yawn. So I've gotten to know him a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit.
Rob says, hello Shannon and John. It's been a while since I've seen you live, so greetings from the Netherlands.
Hey.
Here it is Saturday the 13th already, 1:09 a.m.
You two like Rammstein? Jonathan? Yeah. I like the first time I noticed them was the song Stripped. Because I've always had this thing about, I saw the video and I thought the video was strange. I looked at it and I'm going, I don't know if this is erotic or because some dark metal has that eroticism feel to it. And danger feel to it. And that's why I think a lot of people like it. But I like that song an awful lot. And like I said, I like the video.
Dave says, James Taylor and Jackson Browne are touring. Have you interviewed either?
No, but I'm dealing with one of the management companies I'm dealing with handles James Taylor. The people who handle Colin James. We still got to put that interview up. So, yeah.
Rick is asking, hello John and Shannon, hi.
Hi.
Greetings from Iowa. John, did you ever have a chance to interview Leonard Cohen?
No. My friend John Cody is very close friends with his former backup singer. I forget her name. She's just a beautiful woman, inside and out. She just has this beautiful exotic look, and she sings with John quite a bit. And John's gone through an awful lot of medical problems the last few years. I bet you she has a lot of stories to tell. I know John can hook me up with her. But that's, I think, the closest that I ever came to someone. I'm sure I've interviewed many people who've played with him, but that's a direct link there. But no, I've never talked to Leonard. I never tried to get him. Are you trying to get our attention, Chase?
I need the hard drives. I'm gonna get them.
Okay, we're on live. Hi, Chase. Say hi.
Hi.
It's on there. There.
Is it unplugged?
Yeah, it's unplugged. Thanks, Chase. Chase does all the
Cindy
videos.
says, hi Shannon and John, Danik and Chase. Good to see you guys and hope all is well.
Thank you. Hope you're well. Oh, that was it? Oh, well, thank you. I like I think a few of you picked up on it. I like it when you ask me a question, but you'll answer it for yourself as well in the beginning, because some say, hey, who's your favorite concert? Mine was Elton John or whoever it was, right? That's kind of nice when you do that, because then we can talk about you a little bit, or else I can maybe relate to what you know, or Shannon can, or something like that. We got some crazy ass here. There's something like a Matterhorn, Swiss Matterhorn thing going on up here.
I think he's looking all festive these days.
Maybe
right?
festive. It could be just festive. You know what? We were getting Shannon's doors and undercarriage. Whoa, undercarriage.
That's my car.
We were getting that done, and we were waiting in Tim Hortons. And I found myself, because I started getting fidgety with my foot like this. This is my toes here, and I kept going like this. Because I was getting really fidgety. I'm going, oh my God, it's been over 2 hours. This is too long. And I kept doing that, and the next day I could barely move my foot, and I realized, unlike... Hmm?
Yeah, because you were putting pressure on it the wrong way.
But unlike the old days, I couldn't do that for like 2.5 hours. I didn't realize I was even doing it, so that's painful.
Mark says hello from Auckland, New Zealand. And Toots is asking, have you ever interviewed Matt Minglewood or met him?
No, chances to meet him, because of course he's from out east, and I had chances to, never got around to it. I might still. He only had one hit in Western Canada. And so because I was doing radio my entire life, I've only done radio in Western Canada. I've never done radio anywhere else. The only The only difference to that was when we had the internet radio station and we were heard all around the world. Plus, when I was syndicating radio shows, I was heard all across Canada. But as far as working at a station where I was in charge of programming or in charge of interviews, Matt never really came up very often. So it was never, even though I'm an East Coast boy, I didn't work in Eastern Canada a lot. Yeah.
David said, I was sorry to hear about Graham Edge.
Graham Edge, yeah.
Yeah, the Moody's were great live, and To Our Children's Children's Children is an amazing album. Did you ever interview him?
No, I just interviewed John Lodge, though. And that will go up next week. The entire interview will go up on our sister channel, which is Rock History Book. And then pieces will go up on Rock History Music. It's an amazing interview. I asked for the last interview of the day, which is always chancy with someone of his age, because chances are by their last interview, they're just tired. But I had to chance it going, I have to get more than 15 minutes. So I talked to the publicist and I said, I'm going to give it a shot. I don't usually ask for the last interview of the day, not with, like I said, someone of that age. But he was great. He was really hospitable, made an effort, liked to talk about life, asked me a few questions. You know, not every artist does that. You look back at the drums and say, oh, do you play drums? This is so cool. You look like you're in a big room, you know, stuff like that.
Wes says, hi, John.
Hi.
Lucinda says, what do you like most about your new town? I'll chime in.
Mm-hmm.
Really friendly people. People are very friendly here.
Biggest thing. We were just getting the retaining wall done because we're in a walkout basement here because this goes right out. This is the basement. But it's not the case because it's a walkout in the front. It looks like a bungalow. But because of the hill going down, our driveway goes and it just, you know, if you kept driving, you'd drive into the backyard, not in a pretty way, you go down a big slope. And then we bought it was leaning like that, and it can't, it's supposed to be straight like that, right? So we got that done this week, and I was cleaning the mud from the caterpillars and all that, because I didn't do it, professionals did it. And like 3 couples went by and they all like said, hey, how you doing? I see you got some work done. How's it going? Hey, it looks good. You know, I'm going, that would never happen in Calgary. Unless we knew the neighbors already. If we knew the neighbors, they'd come and snoop and want to know what you've got done.
But it's a nice smaller community here in the north, so we find that, people are very friendly and have lived here a long time, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's a newer development, well, not that new, but about 2006-ish.
Mm-hmm. And on this side, you could probably fit 2 houses, not normal lots houses, but if you put them right beside each other, you could fit 2 houses between our house and their house. That side, you could probably fit maybe half a house, maybe a little bit more. As far as room, yeah, you're right, that Costco, anyone have a heat dish from Costco? It does that.
Yeah. Roger says, hi guys, thanks so much for interviewing Krista Berg, an artist who I have been following for 40 years here in the UK. He is mocked because of Lady in Red, but there's so much more to him than that.
There is, and as if you watch the clip where he talks about Lady in Red, he says, I said, well, that changed your life, obviously, we need to talk about that. And he says, it really did. We went from, playing cedars like this to playing cedars this big, and it was nice that some people chose to look back, and because there's a few albums there, a handful of albums, to go back and listen to the older stuff. The only problem with that is Lady in Red was so different from anything that came before it. But you'll always get the open-minded fans. So, I mean, it helped them. And in the future as well, of course, right? Rob Damon. Worth to mention that 2020 QSP will release their second album. Is Susie Quattro, Andy, Scott, Sweet, and Dan Powell Slade. If you like to know more, your contact is Kevin Smith. I can contact Andy. I've got Andy because we interviewed Andy for like 2 hours. Yeah, I'll contact Andy. I'd like to talk to Andy again anyway.
Wes is asking, have you ever interviewed Smokey Robinson?
No, I'd like to. He wouldn't do well on our channel. Anybody R&B doesn't. But someone was just asking me for advice tonight. Some guy with quite a small channel and a very diverse lineup of people on the channel wanted, some advice. And I said, he had interviewed someone that I didn't know who it was, someone that was on Pimp My Ride or something, and was a quasi musician, probably a real musician. I don't know, I've never heard of him. And then interviewed Rick Emmett, and I thought I had to tell him, well, you know, the person who likes this quasi musician guy and Rick Emmett are polar opposites. You would never get the same type of people on the site. But I did tell him, I'm an exception to that because I've earned at least a little bit of trust from you, the audience, because I've been doing it a long time. And if you're here, you must trust me a little bit. But if you're a new channel, you got to remember who your audience is and say, okay, who am I talking to, right? I say that because if I interviewed Smokey Robinson, it would be like Chris de Burgh. Chris's videos haven't done that well on this channel, but I knew they wouldn't. Bruce Hornsby didn't do that well on this channel because unless it's rock, like rock-ish, it's not gonna do as well. But then I've earned enough of an audience that I can squeeze people like that in and going, well, you know, what's the history of rock and roll if it's not quite rock? So I was trying to tell him that maybe you don't want to do that when you start. You got to get an audience first. That was a long-winded way.
Irene Brophy.
Yeah, hi Irene.
Hi, you two. Hope you're settling. Hi. Nice to hear
We
from you.
wave at the screen a lot.
Toot says thanks. Met Matt and got to sing with him in a small cafe in Sussex, New Brunswick.
Oh, cool. Curtis 48. That's what she did.
Have you interviewed Richard Page?
I tried, and when they said, well, the only thing he'll do right now is he'll do a written word interview, and I went, oh, I can't do that. I'm on YouTube. And I just wrote back to them. And at the time, he was interviewing other people. I've had that happen, as you can imagine. I'll say, hey, is so-and-so doing interviews? No, they're not. And then you'll see them on another channel. And I'm going, okay. And you can't get back to the rep and say, hey, man, what's going on? You just don't burn bridges. You just move on. Shannon would call up because she closes the file. Shannon would say, has it changed? Because, well, how would you word it if you were in my position and you wanted to get, let's just say Elton John. It's not Elton John, but, and then they say, oh, he's not doing interviews right now. And then the next day you'd see he's doing interviews with someone who's just as big as your channel. What would you do?
Oh, gosh.
How would you, she's good at turning like a negative into a positive.
No, I don't know necessarily. I would definitely get in contact again. And I would just, I'd just go in and say, okay, yes, when's our interview?
Oh, she would. Yeah, I wouldn't do that. Because it relies, there is a publicist now who handles a lot of rock stuff. And I don't know why, I'm going to have to confront him because I've gotten on his naughty list. I'm on his mailing list, so I get everything. He never gives me an interview, ever.
I would just be
I'm not going to say his name, but like, I just go like, what did I do? I think it's because he handles a lot of rock and metal, and I don't interview any of those other people, and he handles some classic rock people. And I'm going, I can't interview them. They're not that's not my audience. And I don't interview a lot of hardly any young up-and-comers, but I don't know. I've gotten on his naughty list.
Mike says, hi, John and Shannon, glad you're settled in a nice neighborhood. Is there an upcoming 2022 album, new or archive, that you look forward to?
I can easily say no. What I'm into, and it's Shannon's going back, Shannon likes new country, which makes me want to jump off a bridge.
I like some new country, but
makes me want to jump off a bridge.
I am looking forward. I would like to see what Adele's new album. She's got a special.
I like Adele. I don't love Adele. I never buy an album, but when she's on the radio, I get it. And we'll watch. Well, I'll probably watch. You think you'll watch the whole thing? You'll watch it.
I think I will.
I'll watch probably
parts of it for sure.
I'll watch 20 minutes of it, and I'll like Rolling in the Deep. I will hide under the bed, or no. What's that one? That one I hate. Is it not Rolling in the Deep? What's that other one? She keeps repeating it over, going. She sounds like she's a robot. What's that hit from the Rolling in the Deep album? Oh, come on, you know what it is. I hate that song. That's like the Sugarland song. that all I want to do or whatever. That's to me, that's kind of like that. She likes Sugarland too. Well, we have a rule. She never overpowers me with country music. Look at my body language talking about country music.
I'm fine. I'm fine over here.
Yeah, she's okay. But she never plays new country on serious when I'm in the car. And we don't do that to each other. Remember, I think we told you, we have a rule that if something's on the radio and one of us hates it, we change it. We've always been like that. And you do look like a naughty one.
And if we're annoyed with each other, we just turn it up. Carl says, hi from Los Angeles. A band called the Glorious Sons from Kingston opened for the Stones here. We take down our Christmas stuff on Elvis's birthday.
Well, when's Elvis's birthday? I don't know. I wouldn't know it offhand.
Jeremiah's asking, who's your favorite hockey team?
Well, it was the Flyers for the longest time because, where is that? Oh, God. Hold on. Me and my sore foot. I'll show you my favorite player. A picture with me and my favorite player, and then you'll know.
That's right, Irene. Rumor has it.
Rumor has it. Rumor has it. Okay, I have to go in front of the screen. Hi, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
How's it going? Let me go get that. Hold on. Keep reading them, Cookie.
So I like some new country, not all new country. But I agree, yes, with you, Mike. Adele's good for a listen for sure.
Well, she's like the singer these days, right?
Hike with Mike says, hey folks, hey, nice to have you aboard again.
Sorry, the camera's really close. Hockey player, my favorite hockey player of all time, Bernie Perron.
Who's this guy? Who's this skinny guy over here?
Yeah, I know, it's really skinny. He's got big hands. Right there. I'll put the autographs there. That is not his genuine rookie card here. That's just, or here, because I would never get someone to sign a rookie card because you take a lot of the value away from it. But anyway, Bernie Perron, I was emceeing a show, and he was there, and he was very nice. We talked about deer hunting. I've never killed an animal in my life. I'm not a hunter. But I read his book when I was in elementary or junior high, I think it was. So I knew a lot about him. Go Bernie. Only God saves more than Bernie Perron. Than Bernie, they would say.
Oh, Elvis's birthday, January 8th.
See, that's a good time. We used to put down, what did you guys put down your Christmas tree?
We'd wait till after the New Year. So we usually wait till January 2nd it comes down. All of it comes right down, back in the utility room.
I'm snuggling with you because I'm cold.
Okay, so this is what we did for a few years because we had our last house was a basement that wasn't developed. So we would have the Christmas tree, we'd leave it in its stand-up form because it was so easy. No, it wasn't decorated.
And it wasn't real.
It wasn't real.
We can burn down the house.
But this time, because we have to put it all into a box and then take each branch and try and make sure it looks.
And now we have a utility room because this in basements, like this is, like I said, it's a walkout basement. We just walk out there. We have a utility room right over there, but it's not that big, and I don't know if I get organized, we could probably do it.
It's all about him decluttering his stuff.
Well, when we say decluttering, it's not the way it used to be. We used to have a lot of crap, a lot of stuff. Now there's this. I just bought some JBL speakers, some tower speakers from I think '81, so they're not L100s or anything like that for people who know their speakers. But I went to power it up, and I went, oh God, the amplifier. Even though they work with any amplifier, I remember going, I want to buy a vintage receiver, but they're so expensive, it's crazy. Too much money.
Rob says,
Michael Schenker.
Yes, is on tour at the moment.
Yeah, I interviewed him for 7 minutes. I think I told you that story many times. He kept telling me this thick German accent. He says, I can't hear you. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I must have a bad connection. And he said, oh, I can hear you now. And I'd ask him a question. And by the end of my question, he wasn't yelling, but, Michael doesn't suffer fools. Anyone who knows his reputation, he speaks his mind. But then he said, well, I'm going to tell you my statement, my mission statement or whatever. And he went for 7 minutes straight.
And
that was good, and I thanked him at the end. He kept going, I can't hear you. I'm like, okay, no worries. But, he's a guitar god. And I remember one of my friends, when they left the big band and went to UFO, a lot of my friends, a few of my friends in high school, not in high school, in the furniture place I worked at, they all just loved them so much. And I remember going, they're a little heavy for me, but fantastic.
Haircut is asking, did you get a chance to listen to Ocean Color Scene?
Oh, can we do this thing? Do we know how to do? Oh, I don't know how to do it on this. Okay, I'll I don't have anything to put it on. My phone's taking this right now. Okay, I will.
And Rob is asking, you have to buy, what kind of loudspeakers are those?
I don't know what that
Magnapans?
What are those? You know, when I interviewed Henry Gross, Shannon is Henry. We were just talking on the phone before the last live interview because I talked to him a few times. We were talking about stuff, and L100s came up. He said, "What kind of stereo do you have?" And I was, I'll tell you what. I want a Sansui G9000. Everyone does. They're $2,000 US. Excuse me. And then I said, I want JBL's L100. It's so generic because those people pair those together all the time. And he says, well, I've got L100s and I've had them for years. I think he told me I don't remember what he told me his amplifier was. But the G9000 is one that is coveted. I forget the Pioneer version of that. It's not version, but that's equivalent to the quality of that. There you go.
Hi, folks from Riverview. Hi, Pete. Rob says Manapan is made in the USA.
Oh, cool. Oh, Tor Porco, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
What a wonderful polka dot dress. Why, thank you.
It's actually a blouse.
Yeah, it's a top.
Yeah. But you would know that. How would you?
Matthew says, hey, John and Shannon. Matthew says hi to you from the Tri-Cities.
Okay, cool. Hi, Laura. Hey, Laura. That's what I have to say to you. Hey. We're back on our laptop last week. Some people were throwing spam at us.
And we couldn't.
What was it? I can't say the word because I'll get demonetized. Was it iffy stuff?
It was iffy.
Yeah.
Something cam, something weird, iffy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul says, hi, John, Shannon. Hey, hi, Paul.
One guy once told me, he says, can we just have a channel with Shannon? I don't want to look at your ugly face. I'm like, oh my God.
Block.
Yeah. Well, you're much prettier than I am. I'm like, oh my God, I give him chutzpah, man. That's he just said it.
Rob says, I use Magnapan on my
Studer amplifier. I've got a Studer. I've got a Studer. What is it? A880. I forget what it's called. Reel-to-reel over there that my first program director gave me. And I'll tell you the story real quick. I've said it so many times. He said, hey, listen, you have all these interviews, you need a good reel-to-reel. Look what I got. I said, I remember that reel-to-reel. It was at the station we had, where we worked at when you first gave me a job. He said, you recorded a lot of your interviews on that reel-to-reel. I said, wow, that's so cool. Do you want to buy it? I said, Len, I looked that up and that's like worth $10,000. He said, what's it worth to you? I said, Len, don't sell it to me. He said, do you have a fund or something for stereo? I said, yeah, I got about $1,000 in it. He says, sold, come and get it. It weighs a freaking ton. So that's my Studer, and that's my story. And then I've got a TIAC over here. That one works. The heads are better on that one, but it runs slow after halfway through a 10-inch reel. It starts to run slow. All the people who are not geek heads are going, Thanks, John, for all that.
Hey, John, are you an audiophile guy?
Yes. Yeah. Have been my whole life. But coming from a poor family, and I've got a DAT player there, but I've got an STR-A Sony top of the line for its year receiver, a black face. I've got the top of the line Akai turntable, but like my DAT player, I paid a fortune for that thing. A Sony top of the line cassette deck, but I really need something to power my JBLs. But yeah.
Mike Machine says, hey guys, hope you're rocking Moncton. Oh yeah.
Mike Machine? Is this Mike Machine from Miramichi? Hey, is this Mike Machine from Miramichi from Fastest Drummer in the World, Mike Machine? That's got to be you.
Jeff Hansen, hey John and Shannon, Jeff from Utah. Hey Jeff.
Oh, he owns a
Studer
A820.
820.
I think mine, I can't see it from here. I used to know, I think it's 880. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's such a small market though, because it's on sale usually for.
And Mike says, hi, yes, sir.
Hey! Mike's from Miramichi. He's an amazing drummer, great metal drummer, but a good drummer all around. And he won a competition for, look up his, Mike, you have videos on your channel, right? Look him up on his, we're crooked here like freaking hell. I think we're like drunk. My tripod's drunk. Anyway, Mike's a real good guy. Chase really likes Mike too. We went to see one of his drum clinics and, gave us some good time. Nice guy. Hometown boy, Mike. Are you still you're in Vancouver, right? Are you in Vancouver? Did you go to Vancouver?
Roger R says, have you heard the new single by The Fix called Wake Up from their forthcoming album,
No.
Every 5 Seconds?
No. No, you have to remember when we're doing our work here in this room, this is our rock and roll room. Shannon's given us a rock and roll room. We, Chase and I, basically, he's here, I'm there, and we kind of just work. And when he's editing my videos, I can't stand listening to myself, so I said, you got to put headphones on, but we're just kind of doing our thing.
So this is how we balance it out. I get the upstairs and he gets downstairs. So
Kind of like last house. The last house, we had a basement and 2 floors. This house, we have 1 floor and a basement, but it's a walkout, so we can look out the windows. So.
Moro says, hello, do you remember what new music you were listening to from last week? If not, anything you would recommend listening to?
Generous Men I was listening to. Remember we were listening to those guys in the car? Generous Men, I think if I remember, I interviewed them, but 2 years ago, I think they're Swedish. Oh God, I don't remember. Norwegian? Anyway, look up Generous Men. They love Toto, okay? The guitarist emulates Steve Lukather. The drummer doesn't emulate Jeff Beccaro as much as he does Simon Phillips because he's very busy, incredibly busy, on the verge of being too busy as a drummer. He's like, he wants to show off his tricks, but he's a great drummer. And they have their new vocalist and then their old vocalist on there as well. Your old vocalist sings one song, but look up Generous Men. I just love them, but they sound like a quasi-proggy Genesis. And if you listen to them, I'm sure you'll agree. They like I said, the guitarist sounds so, his tone on guitar is just spot on.
Pete says, I'm a Krell guy myself. Have ever heard of that stuff?
Where? No. The real high-end stuff, the newer high-end stuff, I'm not familiar with. There's a high-end place in Moncton here, and it's strange for us because we're come from a place. How many people in Calgary?
1.4 million.
Yeah, and how many people here?
Just under 80,000. Yes.
So we don't have access to that kind of stuff, though everything's online now. But you want to go in and listen to it, right? Can I ask any of you? I don't want to go off into audiophile land, but best speakers or stereo you've ever had. I've not had that yet. Everything I want, Shannon says that's too much, and she's right. It's too much.
Rob says, I know you had a Studer 810. You told me.
It was an 810. I gotta go look at it. What's just right here? Hold on. Last time I did this, I didn't. Oh God, sorry guys.
Oh my.
See it over there? Can you see it? Hold on. Yeah, there it is. It's there. Hold on. And then sorry guys. See, I haven't put my autographed albums up. Oh my God.
Oh my.
There's my TIAC down there. Can you see it? I don't know. Oh my God. There's my TIAC on the floor. Oh, we're turning around again.
Like I said, I have the upstairs.
Ah, sorry.
That's all I have to say.
This is crazy.
Dave said.
I think it's an 8. It might be an 810. I've got to get up now. Here's your glasses.
Dave said, just donate my Sansui 881 and Duo audio turntable to charity, bought in 1975.
God, I'm a charity case. Charity, you can't argue with charity.
And Mike Machine says, yep, you can follow me on my new YouTube channel. And yep, he's in Langley.
Oh,
We're
right on.
loving the East Coast comeback.
Sorry, Mike Machine. It's an A807. A807. That's what it is. The reel to reel.
A807?
Yeah.
That Rob was asking.
But someone was selling one for 10 grand. I don't doubt they got that. But mine's in immaculate shape. Even the padding on the sides in great shape. Len took really good care of it. And it was bought for a radio station, so only 2 people bought it. I'm not trying to sell it because no one's who's gonna ship that damn thing. Anyway, Mike Machine, follow him on his channel. Great drummer. If you really appreciate drummers who have control of their drums. The drums don't own Mike. Mike owns the drums.
Toot says, I can't kill my Kenwood stereo from the early 90s.
You can't kill it?
Yeah.
Well, you know the STR, I think it's called the Sony one that I had. When I bought it, didn't work. Called the guy up. He was a motorcycle guy. He got really angry with me. I said, "Hey man, this doesn't work." And you said the reel-to-reel was because he put it in a box. He said, "Oh, it's right there." And I didn't want to. This is bikers everywhere. I said, I didn't want to say, "Can I try it? Can I see it?" I bought it for $300, and the freaking thing didn't work. So basically, when I called him and said it doesn't work, he basically told me to screw off. So I got it fixed and ordered a remote control for it. It's worked ever since really well.
Palace Rob is asking, hi guys, Rob from Chicago area. In your interview with John Lodge, it sounds like he and Justin Hayward had grown apart quite a bit. I have always hoped for a second Blue Jays album.
Yeah, the Blue Jay album was great. I was in high school when it came out, and that was that break, right, where they took. I talked to him about one track, and I can't remember the name of the track. I didn't even know it until I looked it up again. I went, oh yeah, because my friend Jim Matheson had all those albums around the break. Yeah, and he was like the biggest Moody Blues fan that I've ever met in my life. I can't get a hold of my friend Jim Matheson. He's out east someplace, he's out here someplace, or else he's dead. You know, when you're looking up someone and it's a guy, women will change their last names. When you're looking up a guy named Jim Matheson who was in radio, you're going, he's got to be dead, because why doesn't he exist on the internet? Especially an ex-radio guy. Then he asked radio people out east. But he was the guy who went, I knew Neil Diamond before because I had Serenade with Longfellow Serenade. But then I met him and he was like the biggest Neil Diamond fan. And so, anyway, I'm verging off into space.
Mike Machine said, I used to work at a parlor pawn, and we got a vintage pair of Klipsch speakers that to this day I've never imagined better. So full and rich and balanced.
Horn tweeters. Yeah, I've got a pair of Klipsch speakers right there beside the JBLs.
He turned this thing around, but it would be like a big... Yeah,
I can turn it. I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to do this.
Here he goes.
There's my Klipsch. Where the microphone is, those are Klipsch speakers beside the JBLs. The sound on Klipsch is so clean. I mean, the bottom end's never as good, but if you buy the new ones, if you want to spend $5,000.
It looks like you've got a lot of unpacking to do down here still. As I'm looking at this.
Mom, can I have some L100 JBLs? I need a Sansui G9000. Before I'm dead, I'm going to get one of those. Not only because they sound good, it's because they look so good. To me, that's the look of a stereo. Excuse me.
Jeremiah says, I have Flute speakers made in Canada and an old Techniques receiver.
Yeah, they make turntables, don't they? Yeah, they make really nice looking, clean looking turntables.
And Jeff says the small Polk bookshelf speakers, best sound ever.
Polk Audio, yeah. They're amazing. Now you're getting into names where I've gotten into... we were talking last week and the week before as far as albums that people test stereos with. Fresh Air 1, 2, and 3, even 4. They would, by Mannheim Steamroller, Chip Davis, I interviewed him. He was on Convoy before he became famous. But also the Tarney Spencer group, Three's a Crowd. Go on Spotify, no matter what you're listening to, and listen to Bye Bye Love, the first song. I think it's called Bye Bye Love. And it'll make whatever you're listening to sound good. One of the best produced albums for the type of sound I like that I've ever come across in my life.
Floyd the Barber, John, when you interviewed Jerry Beckley a couple of years ago, you said you would post a Dan Peek interview shortly. Did you ever do it?
No.
I'd love to see it.
You know why? Because it sounds like crap. John Zeka, who works for Bobby Kimball, took I've got Ravi Shankar, Phone Hum. I've got, who else do I have? I've got Dan Peek, Andrew Gold, not Bill Bruford. Take Five. What's wrong with my brain? Take Five. It's the piano player. Oh God, I can't. What's wrong with my brain? Four of those guys. Someone's going to tell me. I don't, it'll come to me. I can't believe it.
It's like group effort here.
Yeah. But anyway, I interviewed those four when I was living with Shannon's sister, I believe.
Dave Brubeck.
Dave Brubeck, thank you. And Dave was old then. I think he was 86 and Ravi Shankar was around that age too. And now all four of them are dead. And they all have incredible phone hum on them. And so John Zaka tried to take the Andrew Gold, and he's a producer engineer, and tried to fix it. The problem is when he localized that sound, because you put it on the sound bar and you can say take that wave off, and it takes a lot of the volume out of it. Thank you for the reminder. I've got to get that on there. I mean, I know none of them are going to get hits. I put part one of Ravi Shankar on there talking about George Harrison and got like 500 hits. I went, oh my God, it's Ravi Shankar. He worked with was friends with the Beatles. And Dave Brubeck wouldn't do well on my channel because he's jazz, right? Even though he had the biggest selling jazz album of all time, Take Five.
Good night, haircut. Haircut says,
Hey.
good night, guys. 12:41 here in England. It's time for me to go to bed.
Well, we've got 15 minutes left. We like to keep it to an hour. Oh, my foot is
Paul
just
says
killing me.
Moody blues drummer Graham Edge died yesterday.
Yes.
Which you know.
We put up a thing I talked to John Lodge just 2 days before it happened. We were talking, and he go on the channel and check it out. Don't go on the funeral the video that announces his death, because the volume of the background music is way too loud. So then I put up, it's like Graham, John Lodge talks about Graham. Look at that one. And you'll hear the complete clip of him talking about the status of the band, Justin Hayward, if he ever talks to him, and Graham Edge. And that's 2 days before he died.
And Ace is asking, Ace Larson, hi.
Hi.
John, what was your worst interview ever?
I've said this many times for the people who log in all the time. It's a band called Three Deep, which had Joshua Morrow of Young and the Restless, and Eddie Cibrian, who's married to Leanne Rimes. I think they're married now.
Yes.
And they were just fooling around the entire interview. They were just screwing around. They were just, I said, they had a band called Three Deep, like I said, with a Canadian gentleman, and they were playing the Peony in Vancouver, and we were presenting, I think, the concert, and I had to represent the station to go down there, and I was supposed to introduce them. I don't think I did. I think I was so disgusted. I just went, and my son was with me, which made it even worse. They kept joking around, and I didn't want to, and at the end I said, Chase, do you want to take a picture? Mark, do you want to take a picture with them? He said, oh yeah, because he didn't realize that they were being jerks. He was just a kid at the time, in middle school.
James says, good evening, Shannon and John. Hi. John, do you remember Ben's Grease Burgers in Chatham?
No, I never spent. Are you from Miramichi? Who was it?
Toots.
Oh, Toots. Okay. I barely spent any time in Chatham when I lived in Miramichi. I don't know if it was a James Hill was the opposing high school from across the river, for the folks who don't know the area, and we just didn't go over there very often. It was weird. It was almost, people kept saying, but it's right across the bridge. I'm going, I don't know. We didn't venture out. None of us had a car. My parents did, but they're not driving me anywhere. So no, I don't remember.
John, Floyd the Barber. John, what's your favorite rock song that incorporates flute?
Oh God. Incorporates flute. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Probably something by Jethro Tull. Flute. Yeah, anything from Jethro Tull. As you can tell, I'm not very on today.
Ed Biss says, hey guys, sorry I missed you two last Friday. I'm just happy I'm able to watch this week. Have a great weekend.
Hey,
thanks, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
Glad you joined
Appreciate
us.
you being out there. We matched today. I was going to wear one of my station t-shirts. By the way, buy a t-shirt, help support the channel. Link in the description. But I couldn't find it, and Shannon says you wore it yesterday. It's in the wash. Okay.
The Cal Sills did the same thing. Bad interview with Howard Stern. I think Stern said they were that was his worst. And this is Randy.
You also can get. I mean, obviously, Eddie Cibrian's. I got the feeling that Eddie Cibrian's kind of a cocky guy, and that's a guest that I'm making. And Joshua Morrow and him together with Joshua.
Right back.
Oh, our daughter's
Yeah, it's had these
talking about stuff.
Yeah.
She's autistic. So I got a feeling that they're kind of. I don't know why they acted that way. It was just, part of me had been in radio a lot of years at that point, and I kind of went, That's when I stopped the interview. Said, guys, I don't have to do this. If you don't feel like doing it, I'm okay. It's perfectly fine. And then they said, no, we'll be good. And they continued. I've got the tape someplace. I've got it. God, I should fish it out. I should call it worst interview ever. And really, I think anyone listening to it would say it was just a few spots here and there. But at that time, I was just not in the mood.
Sorry, my apologies. I am back.
She's back. What do we got? Oh, we got 12 more minutes. We like to keep it to an hour because when we go longer than an hour, it's almost a little too long.
Hi, John Shannon.
Hi.
This is Wolf Tracks.
Hi.
Greetings from Florida. I love your interviews and all the many updates. Keep us informed. Thank you. Nice to have you join us.
We're getting a little bit more now into music news. It's interesting. The reason I stopped doing it is when people say, oh, I was expecting to hear Lou Gramm or was expecting to hear him going, okay, but what happens with the news is someone talks to someone, whether it's music or not, and everyone else reports on it. Why? In our world, we can't really take that clip. We can only quote the clip. So I started going, well, maybe we'll just stick to interviews. And I thought, why would they say that? Don't they know like the majority, like 98% of our channel is interviews? So that was kind of disheartening, but we should get back to doing it.
Michael's asking, hey, John, how much would you pay for a Genesis show? $200?
I don't think I would go. And no disrespect to them and no disrespect to anybody who would go. It's just not, it's too expensive for me. Shannon probably wouldn't go. I almost call you Janice there. I'm tired today, sorry. Janice. Sue. I'm called Sue. No, I don't think I'd go. And Daryl Sturmer invited me because I haven't talked to Daryl in quite a few years.
When Floyd the Barber was asking about the flute, I asked because the first time Burton Cummings tried to play the flute he cut, She's Come Undone, with the Guess Who.
Really? That's him on the flute? In that song?
Mike Machine says, really great to catch the show, you guys. Thanks for the shout outs. Hope to see you someday soon.
Hey, Mike, take care of yourself, man. If you're ever back home, let me know. Yeah, see you again.
Toot says, Honeymoon Suite did the flute thing.
They did? On what song? I'm sure they did, but it's like the cowbell. I had to ask Albert Bouchard. I'm going, so there really is cowbell in there? And he's really good about it. And even Joe, no, I asked Joe, his brother. I said, so, like, because he said, no, a lot of people don't know there's cowbell and Don't Fear the Reaper. Until that Saturday Night Live clip, I think most people were oblivious to it. It's there, it's just not, it's not heavily pronounced on there.
Randy's asking, did you ever get a hold of Dewey
Vanell
for an interview?
No, I should. Henry Diltz, who did that Morrison Hotel album cover for The Doors, I've got his contact information, and of course he did so many album covers, Crosby, Stills and Nash and the Eagles. He's one of his best friends is Jerry Beckley of America. And really the only person in America I have an interview with Dewey, so I'd love to chat with him. But it would probably end up being him and Jerry. Jerry and I got along really well. It was a pleasure talking to Jerry Beckley. One of the most beautiful human beings, and he has long hair. I remember going, wow, I want to look like him. And at his age now, he's a very good-looking man.
Floyd the Barber said, yes, he grew up playing a different instrument and then realized the flute had the same fingerlings, knocked off that great solo. So that was good.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you for that. I've kind of given up on, I go from giving up on Burton Cummings to not. I've tried a few times, but I've just got to talk to the gatekeeper. And and make sure, because I should get Randy Bachman again in Burton Cummings. Interviewed Randy twice, but it was 10 years ago. So
Michael's asking, what do you think of
John Anderson's School of Rock. I didn't know he had a School of Rock. John Anderson has a School of Rock. I don't know. Is he a School of Rock? If he is, it would be great. I interviewed him for I think an hour and a half. Asked me tomorrow, I'll say it was 2 hours. It was a long interview, and it had a bad internet connection, but it was just what a nice man to talk to. I could just talk to him all day.
Jerry or Dewey would be a great interview. Thanks to you both. Hello from South Florida. This is Dave. Wilhauer. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Randy said Jerry Beckley recently remarried and moved to Australia.
Really? Wow. Because he was in Cali, I think, the last one I talked to him. I had met him backstage. It's on the Facebook page. There's a picture of me and Jerry. I'm holding a whole bunch of albums because they signed like 10 albums for me. And contest winners, two ladies who came by. So it was really nice. I remember telling Jerry, not Jerry, Dewey, I said, well, you and I got to talk. He said, sure, you should just get a hold of whatever that person was.
Getty says, interview suggestions from Getty. Robbie Robertson, testimony is among the thorough and fascinating R&R bio books. Really enjoy this week's interviews with Rick Emmett.
Thank you.
Christopher, thanks.
Someone had complained with that Robbie Robertson story that I wrote a few years ago. They complained that they'd read Robbie's book and it was too much about him. And I went, well, it's got to be from his perspective because he can't really speak for anybody else, or he doesn't go into the music, or I forget. I remember thinking, my thought was what the person said. Well, I'm going, well, that's how I'd write the book if I wrote the book. Robbie has such a great whiskey-soaked voice. He's like when he's somewhere down the crazy river, when he does that. Crazy. All right, we're going to wrap it up soon.
Rob said I only know a movie called School of Rock with Frank Black.
Oh, not Frank Black.
Is it Jack Black?
Jack Black. Yeah.
That was funny.
That was a funny. One of those kids just recently died a little while ago. You know how time flies. You go, oh, that person died like last month, and you find it was last year or something.
Michael says, are Triumph going to do anything? My teenage fave.
No, that's. As Rick Emmett says in the interview, look up Rock History Book and Rick Emmett, and you'll see the entire interview there. Rick says that it would just be too much. For Gil especially, and he's your drummer and vocalist. They had two vocalists, they were a lucky band. He said it would just take too much for him to get back into it. And I get that. Not worth the money. Gil doesn't need the money. None of them need the money.
Good night, Pete. Good night, Randy. Floyd the Barber, are you going to be doing this most Fridays at this time? We're trying to.
We're pretty consistent now.
And we're trying to do it a little bit later in the evening.
Because we're out east.
So excuse if the odd yawn comes out. Because we're having to do it a little bit later.
We're going to have a beer after this. It's my Friday night. I had 2 light beers. Ooh, 180 calories. I'm dangerous.
Toot says Burton Cummings once met Jim Morrison in LA in the 60s and ended up driving him around all night while Jim sat in the back seat with 2 girls drinking beer.
I think I read that on Burton's Facebook page. Burton is very generous sharing stories about the old songs. And I think there's a part of him that would rather have him do it, and of course, on there. But I would love to. If anyone knows Burton Cummings, I would like to have an interview with Burton Cummings, please.
Ever interviewed Loverboy, another Canadian band? This is Just a Dude.
Just Mike Reno. What's his real name, honey?
Mike Renoski.
And how do you know that?
Because he graduated from my high school in '79, I think it was.
Then he graduated the same year I did. I interviewed him in studio. It's on. Look up Rock History Canada, and it's on there. Oh no, wait a minute! It's not on Rock. It's on Rock History Music. If you go into Rock History Music, look up John Beaudin, Mike Reno, and you'll find a couple of clips of me. It's me and him talking in the radio station I worked at the time. He is such a fun guy to talk to. He just makes an effort. He just likes to talk. That's the best interviews. Mike Marino is just one of those all-time great interviews. Jokes about his weight gain because we're all a little heavier and we're all a little older. He says, the leather pants. I think he said he still has them. They don't fit or something. Like, I don't know. I'm paraphrasing.
Well, thanks for joining us, Rob. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. where you are.
Oh my God.
We try to go at 8 o'clock our time here.
Yeah, any later I'll be yawning too much. Not that I go to bed at 9 or anything, but at the end of the week I'm tired. And we're getting into a phase now of putting more. Besides talking about it, we're slowly getting into. I think I can. I'm doing things for the other channels as well, and more for this channel.
Floyd's asking if any chance we can get Henry back.
Henry wants to come on. Henry, oh God, Henry left me a message a couple weeks ago. I got to get back to him. Sorry, Henry, if you're listening. God, he's such a great interview. Henry is in the top 5 of most fascinating people I've ever talked to, ever. Just a fascinating mind, and if he ever sells his L100 speakers as the JBLs, better sell them to me. But we gotta go.
We do. Wolf Track says, point of interest, many melodic rock bands are all coming out of Sweden these days. Most are really great and bring back the 80s.
Very
yes.
True. Very, very, very true.
We love the 80s.
And that's a good way of revisiting the 80s. The 80s were so good to me. I got into radio in the 80s. I think Shannon was 10 in the 80s. Shannon was 10 when I graduated, but I didn't date her then, so that's just. She's almost 11 years younger than me.
Oh, we're getting a little bit of a.
Yeah, did you? Yeah, do it. Did you block them?
I don't know how to block. It doesn't say on here to block.
There you go. And this, another one. Buggers.
Spam sometimes coming in. Bye, Irene. Have a good night.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Goodbye. Someone said Atlantis. I'd like to interview her. She has they're working on a sitcom on her life. I'd like to try. I think her and I would get along really well because she's a deep.
Any Night Ranger news?
No, Jack Blades. We're trying to get him, but something happened.
Ever an interview with Iggy Pop?
No, I'd like to. Best person I ever saw live, Iggy Pop. Best performer I've ever seen live. I was on the second row, and he opened for the Pretenders in the 80s, and we were with my friend Steve. I think it was Steve, and I were with the reviewer for the Edmonton Sun, the Edmonton Journal. Everyone thinks they hate each other. It's like everyone always thinks that if you don't work at the same station, you hate the opposition. We didn't hate them. That's just stupid. They were friends. We all hung around with them. We just didn't talk about radio station secrets. But anyway, we were both reviewers, and we had second row seats or something like that. It was, but I never said, Chrissy Hine, the Pretenders was anywhere near my top 50 of concerts, and they were after them. So, but Iggy Pop was amazing. Okay, what do we got?
Okay, get that.
What is that?
I don't know. It's a deleter.
Oh my God!
I'm never getting spam tonight for some reason.
What is that? Oh my God.
Just spam galore.
Hate speech.
I think this might be our cue to.
Wow, that's awful. Talking about Hitler and stuff. Shouldn't even say that out loud. Okay, block that guy. I just did. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay, we gotta go.
Bye, everyone.
See you. Thank you.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Next week.